Praise you, Abba, you are good. Your grace and your mercy endures forever. Endeavors your faithfulness. Praise you, Abba, you are good. Your grace and your mercy endures forever. Endeavors your faithfulness. Yes, Yahoo. Isaiah. Isaiah 15. This is the prophecy about the Moabites. The night Ar is sacked, Moab is ruined. The night Kir is sacked, Moab is ruined. He went up to the temple, to Debon, into the high places to weep. On Novo and Medivah, Mavol is howling, every head save bald, every beard cut off. In the streets they wear sackcloth on their roofs and in their squares. Everyone howls and weeps profusely. Heshbon and Elah cry out. They are heard as far as Yakaz. Moab, best troops cry aloud as their courage faints away. My heart cries out of Moab. Its fugitive flee to Zor. A calf 3 years old. A calf 3 years old. They ascend to the slope of Lechit, weeping as they go on their way to Horanium. They utter heart-trending cries. The waters of Nerim are desolate. The grass is dried up. The new growth fails. Nothing green is left. Therefore they carry away their wealth, everything they have put aside, across the valley of the willows. For the cry has circulated throughout Moab territory. Its howling has reached Egalam. Its howling has reached Beer Elim. For the waters of Daman are full of blood. Yet I have worse in store for Daman. A lion for those who escape from Moab and for those who remain in its land. Send lambs for the ruler of the land from the crags toward the desert into the mountains. The daughter of Zion. The daughters of Moab at the fords of Arnon are like floating birds pushed from the nest. Give us counsel. Decide to help. Make your shadow over us, like night in the middle of the noonday. Hide our outcasts. Don't betray our fugitive. Let our outcasts live with you. Protect Moab from the attack of robbers. For when the extorting ends, the spoiling ceases, and those trampling on the land are destroyed, a throne will be set up by grace. And on it, in the tent of David, will sit an honest judge, seeking justice and pursuing righteousness. We know who that is, right? We have heard about Moab's pride, how very prideful they are, about their haughty arrogance, their insolence and bravado. Therefore, Moab will wail for Moab. The Moabites will wail for the Moabites, right? They will all wail. You will sigh, stricken by grief, for the raging cakes of Kir Hareset, and the grain field of Heshbon are withering. Also the vineyards of Simah, whose red grapes overpowered rulers of nations. Whose red grapes overpowered rulers of nations. Once they reached as far as Jazer, they was getting drunk. And trailed out into the deserts, their spreading branches even across the sea. Therefore I will weep for Simba's vine as I weep for Jazer. Therefore I will weep for Sibma's vine as I weep for Jazer. I will water you with my tears, Heshbon and Eliah, because the shouts of battling are falling on your summer fruits and harvest, and gladness and joy are removed from the fruitful fields. No reveling in the vineyards, no happy shouting, no one treading grapes in the wine presses. I have silenced the vintage cheers. This is why my heart throbs like a lyre from Moab, and everything in me for Kir Hares. Now, let's slow down a little bit. So, Moabites. This is the prophet about the Moabites, Moab, the Moabites. Okay? This is the prophecy, boom, to the Philistines. Okay? Now, we also have this this taunt song against Babel. Okay? Because this is a prophecy about Babel. So you got these people, right, who are the enemies of Yah, the surrounding nations who, because of Israel, because of their disobedience, have been brought into subjection to these people. But the Most High still going to go back around and correct and check all these people who were doing Israel wrong when they were in their possession. Let's keep reading. Yeshayahu, chapter 5, chapter 16. Even when Moab is seen growing weary or worshiping on high places and entering the sanctuaries to pray, they will have accomplished nothing. You know about that? You know about growing weary? You crying out so much. You going in to pray, but you ain't accomplishing nothing. I know about that because of my wickedness, right? This is the word Adonai spoke against Moab in the past, but now Adonai has said within 3 years and not a day more. I love this part. As if a high worker will keep in track at a time, the glory of Moab will be brought into contempt, despite its large population, and the surviving remnant will be few and feeble. He's still talking to these people. Now we're going to talk about Damascus. Okay. This is the prophecy about Damascus. Damascus will soon stop being a city. It will become a heap of ruins. The city of Aurora will be abandoned and given over to flocks lying down undisturbed. Ephraim will have no defenses. Damascus will cease to rule, and Aram survivors will share the fate of Israel's finest sons, said the Lord of the armies. When that day comes, Jacob's glory will wane, and his full body grown thin, as when the harvester collects the standing grain, reaping the ears of grain with his arm. Yes, as when they glean the grain in the Rephaim valley. Yet gleanness will be left, as when beaten an olive tree, 2 or 3 olives at the very top, 4 or 5 in its fruitful branches. The God of Israel says, on that day, a person will heed his maker and turn his eyes toward the Holy One of Israel. He will pay no heed to the altars made with his own hands. Damn. On what day? A day that he already has counted up. And not a day more, as if a high worker keeping track of the time. Right? On that day, a person will heed his maker and turn his eyes toward the Holy One of Israel. He will pay no heed to the altars which his own hands have made. You ever been there? So broken up, so taxed by your own sin, that all you can do is just heed your maker and turn your eyes towards the Holy One of Israel. And you just got to stop paying attention to what you built, to what you made, and what you put together. Because in reality, you accomplish nothing. Let those who have ears hear.